Good evening and welcome to the March 2, 2026 meeting of the Tupelo Planning Committee. Please take a moment to silence your cell phones. At this time, please rise for the invocation given by Aaron Washington and to be followed by the pledge led by Patty Thompson.
Thank you, Lord, for today, God. Thank you for who you are, God. Just thank you for your grace, your love, your mercy, God. Just shine upon us, God. Thank you for this leadership. God, thank you for this community, God. Thank you for all that you do for us. In the name of Jesus, we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. The Tupelo Planning Committee is a volunteer group appointed by the mayor and city council. We do not receive compensation and do it as a community service. The committee spends a lot of time and our own funds studying, researching the applications, and visiting the sites that are on our agenda each month. We ask that you remember that we do not take our positions lightly on any application. Our decisions are based on facts as they are presented and with regard to the regulations set forth in the city code. The planning committee may impose conditions on approvals of a request as it deems necessary to mitigate potential hazards or problems or bring the nonconformity into compliance to the extent necessary to protect the rights and interests of nearby property owners and the general public. At this time, I would like the staff and committee members to introduce themselves.
Tanner Newman, Director of Development Services.
Mark Williams.
Aaron Washington.
Leslie Mart.
Victor Fleitas.
Patty Thompson.
Scott Davis.
Ben Logan.
Kim Rushing, Community Outreach Coordinator.
Our first matter will be review of the last meeting's minutes. Has everyone had a chance to review the minutes of the last meeting? Are there any additions or corrections?
I make a motion for approval.
Do we have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
That is motion by Mark and second by Leslie. Our next action will be report on last council actions. Mr. Newman, do you have anything to report on the city council's actions from our last meeting?
Mr. Chairman, I do not.
Thank you, Mr. Newman. Our next item is to review the agenda. We are now ready to start our agenda. There are 4 items on our agenda tonight. As we work through these items, if you are here in order to comment on an application, please, when you are asked, move to the podium, speak into the microphone, and state your name and address before offering comments. First item on the agenda is Flex 26-03, 1 Otis Boulevard, parcel 089-32-016-000. This is a request to allow a church to occupy a building that was formerly a car museum. Mr. Newman or Mr. Faulkner, have the surrounding property owners been notified?
Mr. Chairman, they have.
Were there any responses?
Yes, we have received a few responses from the surrounding owners.
Will the city take that up during their presentation on this matter?
Actually, I believe at this time, Ms. Rushing has a few letters from the surrounding owners that we would like to read into the minutes if the chair would allow.
Absolutely.
Mayor Todd Jordan and Tupelo City Council. Dear Mayor Jordan and City Council members, please accept this as a letter of concern about the proposed use of the property known as the Tupelo Automobile Museum. As a highly visible piece of property on a major thoroughfare through Tupelo, it is our wish for the city of Tupelo to consider that property as a prime spot for locating a major attractor to Tupelo. I would also like the city of Tupelo to consider the near future as the CVB's offices are relocated to the Tupelo Hardware Building and how many future developments across the street could impact the city's ability to sell the CVB current building at the corner of Main and Elizabeth Street. We desire to see the city of Tupelo grow and prosper, and we believe there is a place for all different types of development. However, thoughtful development of both 1 Otis Boulevard and 399 East Main Street is crucial to the city's appeal as a destination. We ask that you carefully consider the use of each property and the effect it will have on the other, and weigh what that would mean to Tupelo as a tourism destination. Thank you for the hard work you do to ensure Tupelo maintains its reputation as one of the most progressive cities in the South. If you have any questions, please feel free to call me at 662-871-7801 or email me at scoomer@tupelo.net. Sincerely, Stephanie Coomer, Executive Director of CVB. The next is from Cadence Bank Arena and Conference Center from Kevin Kirkpatrick, Executive Director. Subject: concerns regarding proposed church use of former automobile museum site in relation to arena parking lot. Background: the former Tupelo Automobile Museum sits directly across East Franklin Street from the Cadence Bank Arena and Conference Center, one of Mississippi's premier multi-purpose venues. The arena hosts 100-plus major events annually, including concerts, collegiate sports, rodeos, conventions, trade shows, and family entertainment, routinely drawing 5,000 to 10,000 attendees per event. Its parking facilities, east and west lots, provide free public parking and are fully utilized during peak events. Historically, the museum's own lot served as privately paid overflow parking for sold-out arena events. The building has remained vacant since the museum's closure and auction in 2019. Primary concerns: interference with arena and conference center events and parking operations, scheduling conflicts, large church weekend services, midweek Bible studies, youth events and special programs, revivals, conferences, holiday services will frequently overlap with arena event days. Arena events are booked months or years in advance and cannot be easily rescheduled. Parking shortages. The arena's lots are sized and managed exclusively for the ticketed patrons. Designated or informally allowing overflow use by hundreds of church attendees would displace arena guests, create chaotic traffic patterns on Franklin Street, East Main Street, Commerce Street, and Otis Boulevard, and generate safety risks, pedestrians crossing busy roadways, blocked emergency access lanes. Revenue and operational impact. Arena management relies on full parking availability to maintain efficient egress, ingress, and positive attendee experiences. Any reduction in available spaces could lead to lost ticket sales, negative online reviews, sponsor dissatisfaction, and higher demands for off-site shuttling or law enforcement traffic control. Precedent: the museum lot previously generated revenue as paid overflow. Shifting that burden onto the arena's free public lots represents an uncompensated subsidy to the church at the expense of the broader community and arena operations. 2, potential increase in homeless traffic and associated public safety issues. Large churches commonly operate or partner in outreach ministries, food pantries, clothing distributions, counseling, overnight shelter, referrals, etc. Locating such activities immediately adjacent to a high-profile public venue is likely to draw transient individuals to the arena parking lots and surrounding sidewalks. Impact on arena patrons. Families, children, and out-of-town visitors attending concerts, sporting events, or conventions could encounter increased panhandling, loitering, litter, or open substance use in the parking areas. Past experiences at other mixed-use venues nationwide show these dynamics can reduce attendance and damage a venue's family-friendly reputation. Security and enforcement strain. Additional calls for service would fall on the Tupelo Police Department and arena security personnel already stretched during major events. This could delay response time, increase overtime costs, and create liability concerns for both the city and the arena. Visual and environmental impact. The arena and conference center serve as gateways for tourism and economic activity in downtown Tupelo. Persistent visible homelessness in the shared parking lot and green spaces would undermine revitalization efforts and the positive image cultivated around major events.
Thank you, Ms. Rushing. Any other responses from neighboring or adjoining property owners?
I don't believe we had any other letters, Mr. Chairman. I know we've had several phone calls, and I believe we have some property owners here tonight.
Will the applicant or the applicant's representative please come to the podium, state your name, address, and present your request to the committee?
Good evening. Thank you so much. My name is Jeff Robbins, and thank you for the opportunity to speak. I am the lead pastor at King City Church here in Tupelo. My address at present is 359 Road 1233, Plantersville, Mississippi. In about 1 month, it'll be 24 Blue Ribbon Drive in Tupelo in Fair Park.
Welcome to the neighborhood.
Thank you so much. Looking forward to it. I would just, when you want me to go, I'll go. You ready?
Whenever you're
Okay.
ready, sir, please.
Just a little bit about King City Church. About 10 and a half years ago, the location where King City Church is right now had about 12 people attending regularly. Today, on that 1.8 acre property, we welcome close to 2,000 people every Sunday. We're thankful for what has happened, and we look forward to where we're headed. But before I share a vision for what we would like to do at 1 Otis Boulevard, I would like to address a couple things. First of all, just begin by acknowledging some very important things. First of all, we understand that this building does lie within the downtown overlay, and including the open container allowances on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We're very aware of that. But we respect the purpose of that district, and we're not here to change or restrict it. We accept the environment and the activity that comes with it, including nightlife, events, and ambient noise. But secondly, I think more importantly, I'd like to speak on what may be a misconception that has surfaced in conversations around the project. Some have the impression that King City is a place for only those who are down and out, and that bringing us downtown might attract homelessness or create safety concerns. That perception is simply not accurate. In 2025, our revenue exceeded over $2.5 million. We employ approximately 25 full-time and part-time staff with a combined payroll of about $1 million a year. We've always worked well with the city of Tupelo, and our story does reflect responsible growth, community partnership, and consistent investment in this city. Do we serve people who are struggling? Yes, because a strong city and a strong church should care for people. But that does not, I want to say that again, does not define our congregation. On any given Sunday in our parking lot, you'll see everything from Bentleys and Porsches to cars that we wonder how they make it up the hill to the parking lot. All parked side by side. That's the beauty of our culture. Everyone belongs, everyone is welcome, everyone feels at home. But I want to be very clear tonight. We will not be conducting homeless outreaches at that location. We will not be conducting food distribution at that location or similar services at that downtown property. We have a state licensed preschool academy that will be on site there. So the last thing we would want to do is have anything to create a homeless hub or an unsafe atmosphere. Our plan is to have a safe, family-friendly, high-activity environment that supports the city's vision for the leisure and recreation district. We understand how to partner with the city. We understand large events. We understand how to add value rather than strain resources. Our approach is patterned after churches nationally known for serving their communities with excellence. We patterned and trained under the Life Church, based out of Oklahoma City, that has approximately 76,000 people every Sunday. We've also gone through training for years with Church of the Highlands out of Birmingham, the second largest church in this country, with approximately 60,000 people in weekly attendance. These are not quiet, Sunday-only churches. They're anchors of economic activity, civic engagement, and community life in their cities. The building we hope to purchase has been vacant for 8 years and is becoming an eyesore. We want to turn it into something Tupelo can be proud of, a vibrant center for community and family activity. Our plan includes a 1,550-seat auditorium that will have top-tier audio, video, and lighting. A venue available for concerts, for conferences, for civic events, and large community gatherings. Daily, weekday activity will include a growing preschool academy, educational, not daycare, pickleball courts, food truck nights, seasonal attractions, outdoor family activities, community and recreational programming. And remember, everything that I've just said on this list is based on what we're already doing and proven we can do on only 1.8 acres. The primary hurdle isn't zoning or parking. It's the downtown's overlay focused on entertainment and the building being in the leisure and recreation department and district. We're not asking to place a traditional, quiet, Sunday-only church in that district. We're bringing week-long activity, higher foot traffic, family-friendly entertainment, events that support surrounding businesses, a safe, vibrant, well-managed environment. We will be an asset to the district, not an obstacle. If we move into this facility, the upside for the city is substantial. Increased employment opportunities, higher payroll circulation through local shops and restaurants, large events driving downtown commerce, revitalization of a long dormant property, stability and long-term investment from a proven financially healthy organization. King City has always been committed to one mission: creating a safe place where people feel they belong and are valued, and we believe it'll make Tupelo a better place for it. We're asking the Planning Commission to see not what this building has been in the past, but what it can become: a vibrant, active, family-centered addition to the leisure and recreation district. So on behalf of King City Church and the more than 3,000 people in this community that call it their church home, I respectfully ask you to approve this variance. A positive recommendation from this commission would open the door for us to pursue the purchase of the Automobile Museum and transform a building that has been vacant for 8 years into a vibrant, beautiful, family-friendly space that benefits our entire city. So I want to say thank you so much for your time, your work for our city, and your consideration of our request.
Thank you, sir. If you would, sir, some members, I'm sorry, I'm running a little bit slow. It's allergy season. If you don't mind, just come back to the podium for just a second. Please forgive me.
All right, that's no problem.
All right. Do any members of the committee have any questions for this applicant?
Yeah, Victor, I would have a few still, Pastor. One, I appreciate,
Sure.
you know, what you guys are doing and trying to accomplish for the city, so that, I don't want you to hear that. But I do have a few questions. So you're currently on 1.8 acres, and obviously you're outgrowing that capacity, understandable. But you guys also purchased property on Cliff Gookin, and it was my understanding that's where you guys were gonna relocate. I think the city worked with you. Would you mind sharing why that's no longer feasible?
Sure.
Or is that still?
No problem. No, thank you for that question. Ever since the Automobile Museum became available, we felt like that would be a perfect location for moving the ministry and the activity and the culture of what we wanted to do. We thought that would be a perfect location. We were told that it was sold, and so we did not pursue it. We kind of punted on that and just began to look. And then some time passed, and we heard it was available again. So we went back into negotiations again. And after those negotiations, we were told once again that it had been sold, quote unquote, it's a done deal. And so we knew that we needed to, once again, pursue something different. And that's when ultimately we purchased the 19 acres across the street from the school. And when we found out that this property was available, nothing against that 19 acres, it's an incredible location. But we, again, felt like that the ideal place for the kind of atmosphere that we want to create, a family-friendly venue that's not just on Sundays, but multiple things going on through the week. We felt, again, that was a great place to have it. We love the downtown. That's why I'm moving there.
Outside of that, again, that Cliff Gookin
Sure.
location, is there anything about it that wouldn't still allow you to serve the ministry you're called to do? Because it's my understanding the city worked with you guys, it's all set, there's no zoning,
Sure.
there's no issues.
I'll be very transparent to that question. Thank you again for the question. The cost to build ground up is substantially more expensive than an existing building, approximately quadruple. To purchase or start on virgin land and build from the ground up, we could build much more at the location on Otis Boulevard, much larger, much more, much quicker. Much better everything, to be honest with you, from everything that we're being told by developers, by builders. Our time frame would be about a third going into Otis Boulevard as it would be going over on the location across the street from the high school, and less than half the price.
At the Otis Boulevard site, obviously, you said 2,000 on a Sunday. And you've heard a little bit about the parking concern.
Mm-hmm.
And then you also said it's not just a Sunday only, it's a vibrant, it's planned
Yeah.
activity, so that speaks to
Sure.
more traffic, more days of the week.
Right.
Competing with the purpose of that.
Right.
So several questions in regard to that. Comment on the parking aspect and,
Right.
and how that doesn't create such a conflict for the purpose that district and overlay was done.
Sure.
And your needs more outside of just Sunday.
Perfect. Well, again, Sunday would be, of course, our big day. We're at 2,000 now, so we're anticipating much more in that location, just being transparent. But that's not during the time that activities going on at the Cadence Arena. There's not activity going on during the time we have services. At least in the 10 years I've been here, I've never seen that. And we've been very observant of that. Now, there may be an exception or two over 10 years, but for the most part, there has not been an exception. The activity that we have, again, we're very knowledgeable of large events, and we're doing a lot in a small area, and we're good with working things out. So those are the kind of things we want to partner. Again, I want to stress, we love Tupelo. We want to partner with the city. The last thing we want to do is create any kind of problems. So I think it just sitting down and doing some strategic planning could avoid a lot of problems that some people may be potentially foreseeing.
Would that include purchasing additional tracks to solve your own parking?
It's available to us, and we've been in negotiations with that. It is available to us to purchase 8 acres that's right there.
And so how much of your current membership would you estimate are citizens of Tupelo versus citizens of county and surrounding area?
What is our percentages? I couldn't give you that information without just pulling numbers in the air. We have a lot from Tupelo, but we draw from other counties as well.
Okay, and just a few more, and of course you went in about the homeless and what you would do, and you no plan programs.
Sure.
Shelter. I'm assuming that's day one, may not be day year 2, year 3.
That's day forever.
Day forever.
Yeah.
So what services would you guys be providing to the homeless?
Well, I'm just going to speak from my heart. I've always been about not giving hand-ups, but not giving handouts, but giving hand-ups. I think just our philosophy is a handout exacerbates a problem. A hand up is to get them in get them in an area where they can get their life straightened out. We have I would say a partnership with different organizations and ministries where they could go. One's in New Albany, one's in Olive Branch. There's I think Kim went with us to that. We had Otis from the city went with us. David Rumbarger went with us. Judd went with us, and there was several. It was not to create that ministry in Tupelo, and I'm not sure how those signals got crossed. it was to really show what could be to solve a problem that I've hearing a lot of people talk about that is not getting any better. It's getting much worse. In the few years that I've been here, it has noticeably changed. And so we're simply, when we're asked, hey, what should we do about a situation, we start trying to come up with solutions. I'm not a big let's go to meetings and talk about it kind of guy. I'm like, okay, what can we do? Roll up our sleeves and do it. And that's kind of what we did. We said, well, this organization has created a nationally certified HVAC program, electrical program, sheetrock program, painting company, and have gotten this year over 50 people off the street into not just transitional housing, permanent housing, and they're working permanent jobs. They have a career. That's just this year. And I'm saying something like that, you need to have boots on the ground to get them, for the lack of a better way, out of downtown and in places where they can go, and it won't be real easy for them to just walk out the door and be back where they were. That is a solution. When I say it's not a theory, it's happening. It's happening every year. They now have 200 people in about 7 locations. This is a pretty cool organization. And so that is a partnership that we do have. As a matter of fact, I was in conversation with someone just today, getting them out of the area into a center in New Albany. They purchased a hospital in New Albany. That was a conversation that someone on our team just had today. So they'll go from a situation that could potentially be unsafe for Tupelo into an environment that's 1 year, where they'll start from the very beginning, and by the time they get out, if they stay in that year, they can be back into a productive part of this community, paying taxes, being a mom that they should be. That's the goal.
I applaud you guys for that type of ministry and partnership, and well done. Just really 2 more questions.
Sure.
Obviously, if this were to go through, nonprofit comes off the tax rolls.
Right.
Adjacent property, that comes off the tax rolls.
Right.
Obviously, the counter to that is, hey, with your folks coming in, you got restaurant revenue, tax revenue.
Sure.
Understand that. But I'm recently retired. If I had a crystal ball, I'd have a little bit more money, right? So
You and me
we don't
both.
have that.
Yeah, for sure.
So what we do know is if we allow this, then the adjacent district this was built for, it would limit what would go around that.
Sure.
From sales, from others to say, hey, plot a church, but we don't need to be next to church. So that's lost revenue that kind of counters. You got any comments for the loss of revenue? Is it, you think it's net neutral with what you bring in? I don't believe it's not only not net neutral. I believe it would be an advantage to the city. It's not about, can I give you $1? It's can I save you 5? And I think that's what we're offering. And so why would that still not be true with your Cliff Gookin location? That you're already outside of a rising cost. I understand that.
Well,
But that
right.
would also be true at that location, would it not?
Yeah, and again, it's kind of like when you walk in a store and you see something you really like, that's what you want. Substitutes don't really matter. Yeah, it would work there for sure. It would cost us 3 times as much, take us 3 times as long to do it there, but it could be done there.
I appreciate you entertaining
Yeah,
the question.
sure. Thank you for asking.
Thank you. Mr. Washington, any questions?
I'm good, other than the parking. You mentioned
Right.
parking earlier in the letter that was read. Do you have anything?
There's a lot of things in the mix, and of course, this is hurdle 1, and we do believe we have solutions to that. Multiple different potentials we could do, and I don't mind throwing some of them out there. It's 120,000 square feet. We could take some of that down and create parking. We could decrease the size of our auditorium to where all the parking could be on that facility. We could do that. We've seen models where that can happen. We could get 8 acres right there adjacent to us, creating all the parking we would need. That's available, and so there's a lot of options that we have. So that is not the hurdle we have. The hurdle we have, I think, is just, okay, you guys in this leisure recreation district, is that going to cause a problem with the businesses? Because the businesses just don't really know what we're bringing to the area. We do believe that being Friends of the City, offering, I mean, the kind of venue that we're doing. I mean, we bring in food trucks now. We have all kind of things going on our small 1.8 acre venue now. And so we know what we are planning on bringing there. The problem is I think that message has got misconstrued a little bit, misunderstood a little bit, just because of the heart. The homeless ministry is such a minuscule part of what we do. We're very involved in the foster care, making sure that foster care, we did a foster care summer camp this year, the first one in the state of Mississippi, like we've done. We totally funded it as a ministry, as a church. We're very involved in a lot of things. It just seems like the microscope has hit homeless for some reason. But we've never done any kind of thing at our present location for the homeless. Everything that we do is to try to get them into a healthy environment, which would be out of the city.
Yes. So do you have anything in place that would prevent you from, I ain't gonna say not dealing with the homeless, but is there anything to detour that happening?
Well, I mean, we have the opportunity on occasion when they come by where we're at, which I've talked to several pastors in the area, and I'm friends with several pastors. It's pretty much the same thing they get as well. They come and I do have an idea to try to deal with that, is to get all the churches together and maybe help fund a location where it's not the same person going church to church to church. But yeah, I won't get into the weeds with that. But we have a lot of ideas. But I think that we've got to get over this hurdle one way or the other to be able to implement a lot of the things we would like to do.
Mr. Chairman, might I make a comment?
Yes, go ahead.
Pastor, I think one reason the question is coming up, and this is coming out of the packet, just to bring some clarification to
Yeah.
why they're asking the question, the committee members, is the support for homeless ministries, food, clothing, and supplies in the application. That's where the question's coming from. And if you want to address
I
that
think
directly.
okay. I think that the thought process was at that location to address the homeless and all that. It would be going and trying. Again, I know you guys don't hear me talk every Sunday, but we're big advocates of a hand up, not a handout. So a handout, I'm not throwing shade on that at all. If that's what your heart tells you to do, God bless you, go for it. But we are more into a hand up. And so we don't feel like our calling is to have a food ministry, to have feeding at our location. We don't feel like that's our call. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. We have supported the Hunger Coalition. They called us, said, hey, we're short, we need help. We sent them a check that day. We do help. But as far as bringing in, we have not done that. In 10 years we've been there, and that is not the plan for the future.
May I follow up on that, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, go ahead, Mr. Logan.
And we certainly have met, the certain city officials have met with y'all over the years now. And what we're here tonight about is an application for a flexible use or maybe a compatible use on some of the uses that you are proposing. And we have to go by that. And it states that you will have a community services center use there on this property. And then in the paragraph number 6, this is what was put into the application. This facility enables us to broaden these efforts and increases community services in a centrally located, walkable MUCC district. And it's not necessarily a MUCC district, but somewhat similar, consistent with the city's vision for mixed-use corridors. That's not being suggested, but how do you explain that with what you are just telling us?
I'm trying to remember back to, again, the application process, and I know perception, of course, to that would potentially indicate that. And if the application needs to be amended, but I'm telling you, I guess from the horse's mouth, kind of what we're wanting to do. I have long believed that there needs to be a place that people can go, but I have offered other ideas of where that could be. But at the location that we're going to have our preschool academy with all of the children, that is not going to be the location. We're very proud of what we're seeing happen in our academy. Dr. PQ said, I asked him what we could do to help, and he said, make sure your children can know their alphabet and their numbers by the time they go to kindergarten. So we started an academy, and a state licensed academy, and it's a very good academy, and we want to continue that. And there would not be conducive for us in any way to have the foot traffic in that area. So the more we get into the minutia of everything that's needed in the city, are we willing to alter some of the things that we maybe from way back when, because that I'm sure was quite some time back, are we willing to alter those based on the need of the city? Of course we are. We've always been and always have been and will be a friend of the city, and we don't want to do anything to take away from the downtown area. We're very proud of what's happening and the trajectory. So that's kind of our heart. And so I'm here to tell you from the horse's mouth kind of what we're talking about. And if there's anything needs to be amended and signed, dated, and stamped, we'll be glad to do that.
Ms. Mark, do you have any questions?
I'll just make a couple of comments.
Sure.
I applaud, Mark, first off, thank you for asking all the questions, because those were majority of what I had. And I applaud you and all of your members for everything that you are doing for the city of Tupelo and our homeless and the community as a whole. Fantastic, love the mission. Our downtown area has been in redevelopment for years and years and years, with a huge amount of money spent to revitalize and to create this kind of leisure area down there. We know that our code says, for instance, no alcohol within so many feet. If we put you right smack on prime real estate, first off, that hurts our mission for the downtown area. Although I understand what you guys are doing, and what, from a family-oriented position, that is. But it seems to be that if you're going to create a campus with all of these fantastic things going on for not only your members, but for the children and whatever other missions that y'all have, the much larger property that's kind of secluded out on Cliff Gookin, it certainly seems like it is much more conducive to what you're gonna be doing and your future growth. And so I wanted to say that so that you'll
Sure.
keep that in the foremost of
Oh,
your
yeah.
mind, that we're not, from my perspective, I'm not trying to be negative about what you're
Right.
trying to do. I just think there's a better place for that to happen.
And I hear you, and I appreciate what you say there. And as far as we've actually had conversations with leadership in the city about, restaurants serving alcohol, whoever. I said the only thing we wouldn't want a strip club next door. I said, but we are okay with the vision of the district. We are okay with that. And again, the location on Cliff Gookin, and I hear your heart, but it takes 3 times as long to get in there, and it's going to cost over twice as much to get in there. And when you're talking millions and millions of dollars, twice as much is a lot. And so that's kind of, I'm just being very transparent with you. That has a lot to do with it. But money aside, we have always felt like we just really were very attracted to a vacant building that has been vacant for many, many years. I grew up here. I mean, I went and ate at TKE downtown, and I've lived here my whole life, except when I went away for training. And I love this city. My wife and I are moving downtown, And the last thing we want to do is ever cause anything other but what the city would be so proud that they partnered with us. But you don't know unless you take that step, which I call faith. But that's kind of where we're at. We're here asking you to take a step of faith.
Thank you, Ms. Martin.
Yeah.
Mr. Leek, do you have any questions?
Yes, apologize for being late. I was at a church meeting.
Oh, there you go.
So, I just wanted to say, on a positive note, thank you for what you've done and bringing this before all of us. No matter what's decided, I would just say, keep on keeping on. And
We will.
so anyway, I think just mirroring what several other committee members said, that my questions were about the church tying into the existing overlay and the way it's been set up and the investments that have been put in. Just mirror what's already said. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Leek. Ms. Thompson, do you have any questions for the applicant?
Well, I am a little curious. They gave us a packet that has all these pictures and things, renderings
Yes.
in it.
Uh-huh.
The infrastructure of the building that you're looking at is it's 8 years old, empty. You're gonna be spending a lot of money just to begin to do what's here in this packet.
Yes, ma'am.
And I was curious, no, not curious, I was concerned, taking that risk of spending all that money on a building that's probably gonna give you some trouble here. Versus, and of course I saw it had a cafe and it had all these other things. And it's not exactly what we had in mind for downtown. Also, everything that everyone has said up to and including the fact that it's gonna limit businesses that want to be able to serve alcohol and have a nightlife, which was part of what we wanted to do for the city.
And again, the limitations would not be on our end. That would be on your end. So there would be no limitations on our end. And I appreciate, your concern as far as that goes. And we have brought in contractors who are very knowledgeable, way more knowledgeable than us, to look at the nitty gritty, so to speak, of the building. The lady that's spearheading this for us was the project manager at the hospital, the project manager at Cadence Bank, very knowledgeable. And she's the one that told us it would be a lot less money and about a third the time and about half the cost. She's the one that told us that. But she also brought in the people that she worked with that build most of the Cadence banks. They're the ones that came and told us that that's what we're going off of. Because I wouldn't know, but we have had multiple meetings with them, architects, even local builders, and that's what we're hearing. And that's kind of where we're at.
You're still, if my understanding, going back to what you said earlier, several hundred parking spaces short.
Well, as far as at that location, there's 244 spots. To build a 1,550 seat auditorium, you need 610 spots.
About 400 parking places.
It used to be 4 people per spot. Now I think it's 2.5 people per spot, unless it went back to 4, which would be great for us.
Yeah. Well, so say 300 to 4. Where are the other several hundred parking spots?
And those, we've had multiple meetings about that. You can have half on an adjacent property if you have an MOU with the owner, or we could take down. It's 120,000 square feet. We could reduce the size of that, reduce the size of the auditorium. We could put 1,000-seat auditorium, and even at 2.5, that's 400 spots. And you're taking off 40,000 square feet. You can create the 400 spots that would be needed for a 1,000-seat auditorium.
I understand, but if you're a growing church, does that not hinder your growth to have a smaller building, smaller auditorium, and constricted parking area?
Well, of course it would hinder, but we've been in 5 services on Sundays, and that's not our goal, to be honest with you. But that would not be something that we would then begin to satellite out. That would be our final quote unquote satellite church. So it would be okay for us to be able to, if it was necessary. But I'm just saying that is an option, that is not the option. It is an option for us to do that and create an auditorium that would be smaller, but is also an option for us to purchase the 8 acres right next to us. We've already been discussing that, and I'm looking around to see if he made it tonight. No, he did not.
But there again, that's an additional cost that would get you closer to the difference where you could have a larger campus and property on the other side of town.
It would get us, it would be a very small fraction of the difference in cost to buy the 8 acres, because we already know what's wanted for that amount.
Are you considering the development of that property?
We have some great plans for that. We really do. We love going to Laurel and Waco. We've got plans, but again, this is where we start.
And you made mention that this would then become your annex? Did I
No.
hear that?
This would be our. It's called, the hub. This would be the video campus, so to speak. And if we were to grow beyond this, we would just maybe put a campus in other locations.
I see Ms. Hadley's here. Yes. Come on up, ma'am. I'll wait for a minute. Come on.
Chair?
Pull up another chair.
He's looking for one.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
Do we have one?
We will get one. Here's Tanner.
Here, you take mine. I'll take Tanner's. Thank you, Tanner. It's good to see you.
Thank you. Cozy.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, Tan.
We'll give her a moment to settle in. I'm gonna give her
Sure.
the last word if she
Sure.
likes. Pastor, since I'm the chair, I get to go last, with this exception, of course. Thank you for your patience
Oh,
with our
no problem.
questions. I don't want this to turn into any kind of ordeal or trial of questions. I have just a few. My
Sure.
colleagues have asked many questions that I had on my mind. And so I wanted to just ask this question. As you make this presentation, and it's certainly within the ambit under our guidelines and procedures for you to make this application. As of today, there is no contract between the church and the prospective seller.
No, there's no contract. Are we under contract? I didn't think so. I know we've had meetings and negotiating, and it has a lot to do, contingency on this.
Right, so there is no signed
No.
contract with a contingency regarding what this committee does as a basis.
A verbal,
It's
yes, a contingency upon this.
Verbal, okay. Thank you, sir. That answers my question. And I'm sorry, sir, if you would, could you please give your name again for the record and your address? Thank you. You mentioned that the Cliff Gookin location that you purchased with the 19 acres is an outstanding location. Your concern with that location is that the cost would be substantially more based on the preliminary estimate that you have right now.
That's one of the concerns, yes.
In locating within the city location, that is the downtown location, the former museum, is the church not passing along a significant amount of cost to the city that it is avoiding by moving into the city, which is to say, fire and police, traffic issues, definite loss of revenue based on putting a church there versus a private business? That's a definite. I understand your position is, well, our congregation and their activities in that location will more than make up for it. That could be true, it may not. I have no way of knowing. But I'm looking at a definite reduction in potential property tax for the city. very secular concern.
Yeah.
It is apparently, according to your estimate, more convenient for you to locate there, but the city will have to bear significant cost in you assuming that location. Or am I mistaken, and if so, how?
Well, again, we have not had those conversations with the city. I would love to sit down and see how that would play out, as far as how us being there would cost the city money and not save the city way more than it would cost. Those conversations we're definitely open to. And so, again, this is our initial, well, this is not our initial step. We've been in meetings, but we would just want people to sit down and discuss these things.
Thank you, sir. That brings me to the issue of parking for a second. And so the question I want to ask is, again, as of this meeting, there is no contract in place with an adjoining landowner that would, for lack of a better word, solve the issue of needing a variance
Right.
for the parking.
We did not do a signed contract because we knew that this meeting and the subsequent meeting that the alderman would have would determine if we needed to do that or not.
And when you are making your calculations about locating here, when I say here,
Sure.
meaning
1 Otis
downtown,
Boulevard, yeah.
Are those added costs factored into your estimate?
Yes.
Just to say, is your estimate valid based on anticipated costs? For example, you mentioned a possible demolition of part of the building in order to allow for more parking,
Correct.
and that's been factored in.
That is a solution, and it has been factored in, yes.
Thank you. And the variance that you would be looking for would be in 50% variance if you're able to get the additional parking on the east side of the building.
Right.
Which is
Well,
pretty-
I don't north, south, east, west. I'm trying to figure that out in my
On
mind.
the side,
The side that's
Highway 45.
the side that's going to be next to the jail. Yeah.
The Highway 45 side is the east side. The, which is fairly low lying.
It is.
Did you just say next to the jail?
The new jail being built. Between us, where we're talking about 1 Otis Boulevard and the new jail, that property's right there, the 8 acres.
I'm almost done. What role does visibility for your church and a desire for greater visibility by your church play in choosing this location over the Cliff Gookin location when you have an alternate location that you say is absolutely suitable? What role does the visibility of that location downtown play in this moving forward?
Visibility has never been one of our top priorities, just being very transparent, because where we're at now is definitely not a very visible location. It's, just for lack of a better word, it's not a very desirable location. And we, for 3 years, was one of the fastest growing churches in the country. And so the visibility did not hinder. And so we don't feel like visibility is a priority. We haven't really factored that in, to be honest with you. Which location would be better visibly? I don't really know. The people smarter than me could address that, but I don't really know.
Thank you, Pastor. I appreciate
Sure.
your patience and your answers to our questions. Ms. Hadley, do you have any questions?
At this time, I do not.
Thank you, ma'am. Sir, thank you. You
Chairman,
may,
one
I'm
last
sorry.
one, and I'll be done. Thank you. On the, I guess the drawings of the proposed, church that you have provided us, it looks great. I just wanted to know about the care center renderings.
Again, that's part of what we were discussing earlier. That would be offices. As far as meeting spots, that is not, again, if we need to amend to clarify, it will not be a place where there will be a congregation of anything that would bring a lack of safety to our preschool, to our staff. Our staff is at 25 now, and we definitely foresee it growing substantially. I've got fathers and mothers of their daughters work with us. I would not want to create an unsafe area for them to work, and I definitely don't want an unsafe place for our children. So those would be some offices, and again, we can amend any kind of application, if need be, to make it clear that we will not be hosting those kind of functions in the, I'm just going to call it entertainment district. That's what I've been calling all. I know it's leisure and recreation. I'm just going to make it easy. The entertainment district. We understand the vision of the city for that area, and we embrace that vision. We love that vision, and we would love to celebrate that and become an incredible partner with the city. And I think 10 years of consistently proving that is the track record that we bring in.
Victor, I do have one more question based on the comment, and certainly it's a question because I don't know the answer to it, obviously. So,
Mr. Logan, I was, Mark, I'm sorry, I interrupted you. I was gonna ask if Mr. Logan had asked this question. Do you have anything else to ask, Mr. Logan?
Just of the care center as presented before, that apparently is gonna either be repurposed or not done, how many square footage is that?
Well, the square footage was the second floor that they have there. I couldn't tell you the exact square footage. Roughly, I don't know. It's the second floor of.
Well, I'm looking at the renderings and there's cars parked in the parking lot at the same level. What was the purpose of the care center that?
The care center was initially going to be a place where if we would house different places to, if someone, say for instance, someone needed, foster care has really been an area that we've leaned into more than homelessness. I don't know how it's got off onto that, other than I was invited to an ad hoc committee meeting with the city, and for whatever reason, we've been celebrated in that area. But we really feel like that Lee County is considered an area of great need for foster care. We would like to be training foster care parents there, doing any kind of thing. So if someone wants to be a foster care parent, they can come there for training. We have definitely been in contact with a lot of people with the state as far as foster care training, and try to make ourselves available free of charge to try to help with these children that have no home. We've also partnered with Beds for Kids, and been a big part of what they do. We're helping them. We made a video for them to try to raise money, and not only have we helped raise money, but we made a video for them. We're just wanting to find out what's needed in the city. As far as who will be coming in, we will not create an unsafe place. Again, like I'm telling you, if something needs to be amended, we can do that. The care center, it could be a place to train people that need training for several different things, but it is not, again, homelessness. Again, it seems like that keeps coming to the front. That is not what that care center was even considered. That was not on the radar until after we were invited to an ad hoc committee meeting, because of, I don't know why, to be honest with you. We were invited to that.
And so that the care center renderings that were done in 2023 had no purpose of a part of this community outreach, which also involved the homeless community.
The intended purpose initially was a one-stop shop for people that needed to find out whatever they needed help for. They could go there and they could find out, okay, I need training for foster care. I need job skills training. And Brandon, our executive pastor.
It's just counseling as well.
Yeah, counseling.
Excuse me, gentlemen, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I know it's in response to Mr. Logan's question. Sir, you made a remark. If you don't mind standing up, please, sir, come on over to the podium real quickly.
on.
Pastor, I'm gonna ask you to stand there for
I
a minute.
will
I
stand here.
apologize. Thank you, sir. If you would just state your name.
Bry
and-
Robbins, address 111 Claremont Court, Tupelo. Counseling, that was a part of it that he was getting to as well.
Thank you, sir.
Counseling offices, yeah.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Logan. Mr. Williams, I'm sorry I interrupted you earlier.
No,
Please
and
ask your
no,
question, sir.
Certainly no problem, and I guess in our work session and so forth, I was not aware of the proximity or the potential proximity to a jail. And so I did Google, is there any restrictions in Mississippi law to a location of a jail and church? And so, Ben, I don't know if you know this, or Tanner, or it may have to be researched, but it did come back, property damage, interrupting a service, firearm restrictions. And it says, some regulations restrict the discharge of firearms or carrying of firearms within 1,000 feet of church or school. So would this be in close enough proximity that with the jail being right here, there's some issue just by that alone?
We'd have to get a bigger map to locate where that jail was. It is accessible and will be accessible only from Commerce Street, which is one block over, a pretty good sized block on the other side of the Coliseum.
What about if they purchase that additional parking, would that?
It gets them closer, but I mean, it's still, you just have to see the layout of the jail over there. There's one way in, one way out. It's gonna have limited access, to those areas. The county's building that, its own county property. You know, that, you know, it's in a different use district for that, and, so.
We'll have to dig into it. That's a great question.
I'm sorry. Thank you, Mark, for your question.
I do have another question.
Yes, Ms. Mark, please.
Ben Logan raised the point of the elevation drawings that we have dated from 2023. What property were those prepared for?
Well, initially, they were prepared for the 1 Otis Boulevard. And then after we were told it was sold, we worked with a company out of Birmingham, and they prepared a rendering for across the street from the high school. So we have two renderings.
But these drawings that we have are for
The ones that
particular
you have
property.
are for the Otis Boulevard, yes.
Thank you, sir. Any other questions from members of the committee? Pastor, you've been very gracious. Apparently, the location near the new jail may open up a jail ministry. Thank you for your patience.
And
Thank
we
you.
already have a jail minister, by the way.
I wanted to try to get you a chance to sit down and
Thank you
take
so
a little
much.
break. You may have your seat, Pastor. Thank you again for your remarks to the committee. We will now open the public portion of the hearing for this application. Please try to hold your comments to a maximum of 5 minutes. Is there anyone here to speak for or against this application? Please state your name and address when you come to the podium. Going once?
Is it for a certain one? Like if you're coming for Flex 2602?
No, it's only the one we're working on right now. It's not, it's 2602. I'm not sure that that's ultimately going to be the correct number. This is 2601. I think it needs to be 2603. But if anyone wants to make, I understand we will be asking the city to give its opinion on this application. And so if the city, I think for right now, if members of the general public would like to make some remarks, I certainly would like to hear from anybody who'd like to say anything.
I will have a staff analysis to present, but at this point, anyone from the public or any adjoining property owners for this particular
Sir.
project, this is their opportunity to speak.
All right, going once, going twice, going thrice. This closes the public portion of this application review. We are now open for committee discussion. Oh, We are open for committee discussion. But now we have not received, I think this is the part where we're going to
Do staff
request for the
analysis.
staff analysis and the city's position on this matter. Mr. Newman,
Mr.
you
Chairman.
have the floor.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman. On Flex application 26-03, this is for proposed use. This is kind of unique. We do have several specific requests here. This is for flexible use for a church. This is for 1 Otis Boulevard. And I'm going to be very specific here for the specific requests. So you have a flexible use request for a church, a 0 to 4-year-old preschool / daycare flexible use, a less than 50% alternate parking requirement flexible use request, and then a social or community service center, which is a compatible use in the Gateway East subdistrict of the mixed-use downtown overlay district. It is important to note that each type of variance will be required to be addressed separately. So when we get to the portion of making a decision on each request, or on this request, each one will need to have a separate motion, or at least it needs to be clear each individual request and the decision of the committee on each request. I'll walk through the requirements in making a decision on this request. One, in making a determination for a flexible or a compatible use request, or variance or use flexible or compatible variance in any zoning district, you must determine that the special or unique circumstance or conditions or practical difficulties exist which apply to the land, building, or uses involved, which are not generally applicable to other land, building, structures, or uses in the same zoning district. In this case, the staff found that this specific case is not found. There are no other buildings in the zoning district which are unable to meet the minimum parking requirements due to the lack of the space on the lot. In most of the downtown zoning district, the assumption is that public lots and on-street parking meet the need, and there's also an exception that the district is characterized by pedestrian access rather than vehicular access. Due to the number of spaces required to be shared or exempted, this assumption cannot be made. And I believe we did talk a little specifically about the exact parking with a 1,550 seating auditorium. They would be required to have 620 parking spots. Currently, there are 244 parking spots on site. Would they believe, according to the application, they can get an additional 61 parking spots there. They would need an additional 376, so they would need a shared parking agreement for 376 additional parking spots, which at this time we do not have. Next, to approve the application, the applicant would need to show that the special conditions or circumstances or practical difficulties do not result from the actions of the property owner or applicant, their agent, employee, or contractor. Staff found that that's not the case here. The size of the building relative to the number of parking spaces the property cannot hold was determined by the previous owner. The parking requirement applied to the structure when built was based on the use as a museum. The applicant has been informed on more than one occasion that the parking is inadequate for the uses proposed. Next, when determining a approval process for a flexible or compatible use, you must determine whether the strict enforcement of this code would deprive the owner or applicant of the reasonable use of the property that is substantially consistent with the intent of the code. The property, as you heard tonight, has not been purchased yet. The uses proposed are not a use by right in this case, and all of the proposed uses are either a use by compatibility or flexibility. Additionally, the amount of alternate off-site or shared parking required cannot be alleviated or have not been alleviated by agreements or exemptions. Next, when making this determination, you must decide that the granting of a variance will not result in advantages or special privileges to the applicant or property owner that this code denies to other land, structures, or uses in the same district, and it is the minimum variance necessary to provide relief. In this case, the staff determined that That is not found. No other examples of this magnitude of off-site or shared parking which involves pedestrians crossing a major street are known to exist in the East Gateway Subdistrict. Other similar uses allowed elsewhere in the mixed-use downtown districts have been required to have adequate parking on site. And next, when requiring or when making a determination in a flexible or compatible use, you must decide whether or not the variance shall not be materially detrimental to the health, safety, or welfare of persons residing or working in the neighborhood. Consideration of the effects of the variance shall include but not be limited to increases in activity, noise, or traffic resulting from any expansion of uses allowed by the variance. Granting of a variance of either the number of spaces or restrictions of shared parking to property which does not involve crossing a major street would likely result in attendees parking in the arena, parking lot, or privately owned parking lots across Franklin Street or Otis Drive, which do create a safety concern. And lastly, that the proposed use and the appearance of any proposed additions or alterations will be compatible with and not negatively impact nearby properties. And with it being in the mixed-use downtown Gateway East Subdistrict, you must, in determining a compatible use, it must meet at least six of the 8 following standards, and that is demonstrated cost prohibition of changing an existing use that is not disallowed by Section 5.3.4. The proposed uses are allowed by flexibility or compatibility only. Again, the applicant does not currently own the property and cost prohibition considerations are not ripe. 2, demonstrated revenue potential. The applicant is nonprofit. The uses proposed are not taxable. No ad valorem property or sales tax revenue will be generated. 3, at least 75% of adjacent property is like use or comparable. None of the adjoining properties are like use or comparable. 4, demonstrated draw to tourism and or pedestrian traffic. No draw for tourism has been demonstrated. The number of parking places required must be, quote, turned over by the applicant to accommodate multiple and separate events in a single day. Participants will arrive, walk to the facility from parking areas, and then leave by the car to make room for the next event. 5, services for customers for family-oriented services or activities. While it is not disputed that this use is family-oriented activities, the participants are not customers in the sense of the uses of the East Gateway mixed-use downtown zone. 6, the design compatibility as defined by Chapter 2 of this code. The building is a pre-existing building and the basic exterior design compatibility is met here. 7, amenity contribution by the applicant is to the walkability, aesthetic, or other quality of life measures with the approval of the Downtown Design Review Committee. Please see comments by the Downtown Main Street organization. And then 8, evidence that the use will not have an adverse impact on revenue, tourism, opportunities, pedestrian access, or aesthetics of adjacent properties or uses. So part of that flexible or compatible approval is that 6 of the 8 of those must be met. And so just the final, I guess, result there is staff found that those requirements are not met.
Thank you, Mr. Newman. It's my understanding that there are several employees of the city who wish to make some remarks as part of Development Services, remarks to this committee. If they're ready, would come up, identify themselves, and make their presentations. We'll work through it. Before we do that, though, does any member of the committee need to take a comfort break? We've been going for an hour and 15 minutes. If anybody does, the
Mr.
chair would
Chairman.
welcome a motion.
I may have to spell our audio operator. He's got to get out here by 8 o'clock, and all I have to do is just go in there and listen and turn it off when we get finished. So,
Sounds fair.
all right.
We'll press on.
Thank you.
All right, so let, Mr. Newman, if you would go ahead and let I guess Mr. Logan's getting that done.
Ms. Randall?
We're gonna have remarks from the podium.
Thank you for allowing me to speak tonight. I'm Lucia Randall. I'm Executive Director of Downtown Tupelo Main Street Association. And thank you to our friends at King City Church that are doing such great work in our city. We appreciate you. There's a handout that goes over the economic impact and investments that have been done in downtown Tupelo in the last 5 years. So I won't be redundant and go over that again, but I will tell you the 2025 investments and information for downtown Tupelo. In downtown Tupelo in 2025, we had 19 business openings, 57 full and part-time jobs were formed. The public investment was $3,383,558. The private investment was $10,867,867 for a total investment in downtown in 2025 of $14,251,425. New construction, this is commercial and residential. We had 19. We had 6 public improvement projects. We had 2,208 volunteer hours that were spent in downtown Tupelo, and we also facilitated 13 quality of life events. I wanted to go over the mission of downtown Tupelo with you. You've touched on it here tonight, but I want it for the record, Ms. Rushing. The mission of downtown Tupelo is to improve and enhance the downtown district through quality of life events, restaurants, and retail establishments, recreational activities, and the enhancement of tourism. Also concerning is a church of this size would lack, and you've already been over this, the parking that is needed for the large attendance of worship services, multiple on a Sunday and throughout the week. TRA, Tupelo Redevelopment Agency, owns the parking north of CVB, so there would need to be a shared parking agreement with TRA. Also, there could be a conflict with the church's Sunday events and throughout the week with the arena and conference center. So I just wanted to go over those things with you, and thank you so much for allowing me to speak tonight.
Thank you, Ms. Randall. Does anybody have any questions for Ms. Randall?
I just want to make one comment, and I know that we received the economic impact with our papers, but there's on here $111 million worth of investment in our downtown area and our, as we said, our leisure or our entertainment district. And that 111 million is since when?
That is since 2020. This is the last 5 years. What you have, the economic impact statement that you have is the last 5 years. That is correct, Ms. Mart. It is $111 million. That is both private and public investment in the downtown overlay.
So that doesn't include everything that had been spent since, what, 1998?
That's correct. That's correct.
We have hundreds of millions of dollars that have been invested downtown.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate all your work.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your work.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
You may have a seat. Mr. Newman, who else would you have to speak on this matter?
I believe Mr. Peck has a letter that he would like to read into the minutes.
I would just like to clarify that the meeting we were all in wasn't a city meeting. The city was invited to.
Good evening. My name's Troy Peck. I'm the chief of the city's code enforcement division.
Good evening, Mr. Peck.
So I do have a letter. I'll preface my statement here by saying that I based my comments off of the application that we'd received, not necessarily the words that were spoken here today.
Understood, sir. Thank you.
As the chief of the city code enforcement for the city of Tupelo, my responsibility is to look carefully at how proposed initiatives affect the health, safety, and welfare of our entire community. I'd like to begin by acknowledging that outreach to individuals experiencing homelessness is rooted in compassion. I think that's a given citywide. The compassion is something that we all value. However, it's also my duty to address the practical and long-term impacts that certain types of outreach operations may have on our city, particularly when located in high-traffic downtown corridors. One significant concern that I have is increased foot traffic along a downtown street that already carries a high average daily traffic count. Our downtown infrastructure was not designed to accommodate large numbers of pedestrians congregating near busy roadways. When individuals gather along these corridors, especially in areas without adequate sidewalks, crosswalks, pedestrian controls, etc., we see elevated risks of vehicle-pedestrian conflicts, increased crossings at non-designated areas that can create hazardous driving conditions, slow traffic flow, heighten the risk of accidents for both motorists and pedestrians alike. Another issue involves sanitation, environmental impact, something we deal with every day. Experience in municipalities across the state and country has shown that concentrated service points can unintentionally lead to increased litter along roadways, vacant lots, drainage areas, and the like. Without sufficient on-site waste management, restroom facilities, and ongoing maintenance, food containers, clothing, bedding materials, other debris can accumulate. This not only affects the visual character of our downtown, but can also create public health concerns, attract pests, strain our public work resources, and cleanup costs ultimately fall to the taxpayer. Additionally, when outreach sites become known as centralized gathering areas, there's a likelihood of informal encampments forming nearby. We see that on Carnation Street, which is what some of the pictures you have there. We have a location in that area, and we have these encampments popping up locally to them. Often these are in wooded areas behind commercial properties along transportation corridors. These camps frequently lack basic sanitation, fire safety measures, proper waste disposal, etc. Over time, this can result in environmental degradation, block stormwater systems, unsafe living conditions. For the very individuals the outreach is intended to help. We must also consider the impact on adjacent business and property owners. Downtown merchants rely on safe, accessible, and welcoming streets to sustain commerce. A substantial increase in loitering or sidewalk congestion may discourage customers, reduce pedestrian comfort, and affect economic vitality. Our goal should be to strengthen downtown, not introduce unintended obstacles to its continued growth. None of these concerns diminish the importance of helping vulnerable populations. Rather, they underscore the need for a coordinated, citywide strategy such as the one we employ currently. Effective solutions involve partnerships with regional service providers, transportation access to appropriate facilities, structured case management, mental health resources, and designated locations equipped with proper infrastructure. Ad hoc placements in already high traffic corridors do not meet these. Compassion and public safety are not opposing values. In fact, they work together. By carefully evaluating location, capacity, infrastructure, long-term impact, we can ensure that any outreach efforts post both those in need and the broader community alike. I have a letter that was given to us by management at the Walmart neighborhood market who deals with similar situations, again, along a less densely populated corridor down off of Carnation Street. To whom it may concern, my name is Ali Whitaker. I'm the asset protection investigator for the neighborhood Walmart here in Tupelo, and I've been at this store for almost 6 years. I would like to take this opportunity to voice various concerns we face on a daily basis with the local homeless population. During my tenure here, I have met many different types of homeless individuals. Most of the population consists of those with mental illness or drug addiction. The population continues to grow and change as new individuals are shipped in from other cities and states. The majority of them are trespassed from being on property for the following reasons: shoplifting, panhandling, simple assault, threats of violence, destruction of property, petty larceny, harassment of customers and associates. I am the only asset protection we have at this store, and every one of the following incidents I just listed has happened way too many times to count. They also like to use our restrooms if the sinks were showers, even trimming their hair, beards, and sometimes sleeping in the stalls. They like to hang out on or around the premises, either in the vestibule or around the outside of the store, resulting in associates being forced to take the time to run them off, and in a lot of instances, resulting in the police having to be called to assist in removing them from the premises. Most of our associates and a lot of our customers are terrified the majority of them due to some run-in they've encountered with them in the past, with some associates quitting because they don't feel safe or comfortable being here, and customers choosing to shop somewhere else. We can't keep our buggies on property because they like to take them to use so they don't have to tote their personal belongings, which costs the store a significant sum to purchase more to ensure they're available for our customers. A few events that have taken place could have seriously injured someone due to some type of weapon being involved from the individual. For example, knives have been pulled and even having a large piece of asphalt being thrown at a co-worker and myself, resulting in a window being broken out and costing the store even more money to have it replaced. I could list numerous other incidents that I have been a witness to over the past few years, but you would be here all night. If anyone personally has questions regarding the homeless population, please feel free to come by the store and ask for Allie. I'll be happy to speak with you. This was a letter that shared with me today in regards to this application specifically, but that's all that I have.
Thank you, Mr. Peck. Do any members of the committee have any questions for Mr. Peck? Thank you, sir. You may have a seat. Mr. Newman, who else would you have speak on behalf of the city development?
Are there any other staff members or anyone else from the city who would like to make a statement? I believe that's it, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir. We are now open for committee discussion.
I believe we've discussed it. I believe everybody's made their point. I can't think of anything else.
Does anybody have any remarks they wish to make?
Yeah, Victor, I mean, again, I applaud what the church's goal is and what they're trying to do, but just, there's too much, you know, you heard the city go over the variances. There's too many unknowns as what the future could lay for that district and the purpose it was created and how this could impact that. You know, I'm least concerned about the homeless, but that's been noted what that could happen there. I take the pastor, that's not their intent, so I take that as correct. And so it's just the purpose of this district and the downtown, the investments there, the impact of the church being there and how that could negatively harm that future vision. I just don't see the ability to do this.
Yeah, I don't know if it was when Tanner was reading. I believe I counted 7 findings that we're supposed to look at in order that they should meet to approve, and not one of the 7. This variance does not meet one of the 7 at all.
I think it was,
or
8.
eight, or maybe
It was
8.
8,
Might have
and
been
it
8.
needed to meet 6 of 8, and I counted 2 of 8 were met under those
Well,
criteria.
yeah, there were 2 different ones. There was that one inside of one,
Oh, yes.
and then there were the other 7 broad that did not meet it. So it's just a long. They have a long way to go to even, in my opinion, to be close. Right. There's, you could list all the issues. I still look to, you know, just as a church, this is not the right spot.
Exactly.
If you just put everything aside, this is not where it should be. We have taken the downtown area, broken it up into the different sections, looked at this over the last few years, how to keep making it better and better, and this is not a location for a church. We can talk about the parking issue, the loss of tax revenues. There are other options in town for that, and I just other options that there are plenty of places for them, but this is not the one.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be, you know, used by right, used by compatibility, used by flexibility from the
Does-
code. It fails 2 of those clearly.
Yes.
I guess I may be the Johnny-come-lately to Tupelo, having come here in '96. I used to run all over the city when I was younger, so I've seen a lot of it at ground level and on foot. I walk a lot more than I used to run. Age does that to one. I remember from when I first got here, and Jack Marshall was the mayor, that there was a vision and a design for a district downtown that used to be populated with warehouses that were no longer operating and businesses no longer operating because manufacturing had moved overseas. And these were buildings with broken windows, dilapidated. It was a mess. But there was a vision, and to Tupelo's benefit, every administration since I have been living in Tupelo has, without fail, consistently, regardless of party affiliation, regarding of personal philosophy, regardless of anything else, has prioritized a vision for downtown as a certain type of place, as the pastor used the term, entertainment district, which I think is appropriate. And that vision has existed from day one. And there have been innumerable investments in bringing that vision to life, consistently approved by the voters of this city, and consistently moved forward by successive administrations without fail. I share the pastor's concern about the unhoused. I probably have a much greater tolerance than most folks in this committee in terms of what I would tolerate or accept in terms of living in proximity. I live in Fair Park. There have been camps right across the pond from where I have lived now since 2013. They bothered my neighbors. They never bothered me. I never thought that where I lived gave me a right to not have to see the unfortunate. But the fact of the matter is that the vision that the city fathers, mothers, aunts, uncles, sisters, and brothers have had consistently for the last 30 years is for this area to be an entertainment district, to improve tourism, and to develop the city economically. The purposes for this application and the goals of the church are laudable, commendable, proper in every way. It's just not the right place, in the opinion of this member of the committee, since I can only speak for myself. I have lived downtown now for 13 years. I walk around that building once a week at least, all the way around. Hear the kildee chirping and carrying on the backside. Know those ditches, know the parking lot, know the state of the parking lot. Remember when the tornado tore up a corner of that building on the southwest side and peeled it up. Walk downtown everywhere. Have been to every concert and every function since I moved downtown. The amount of traffic, the amount of congestion, its interplay with the Bancorp South Center, who folks seem to think is strictly a Monday through Saturday thing, but it's a Sunday thing. There are innumerable functions that I have seen held there on Sundays over the year, from the Gaither homecomings to any number of events. And I don't believe it will work. I just don't believe it will. I do believe it will create problems with potential hazards for pedestrians. I do believe that there's a cost-shifting aspect to this request. Understanding it benefits the church and it's less expensive to go here, but those costs have to be absorbed, and I think those costs are going to have to be absorbed by the city. And I don't think that a promise or a potential for something so outside of what the design and the plan has been can overcome it. And so that's all I have to say about the matter. I've probably said too much.
I'll make a motion.
Ms. Mart
I'll make
wishes to make a motion.
to deny flex variable 26-03.
We have a motion.
I think you have to name each variance, if I understand.
It can be one motion, but just
One,
list
but you
each
need to identify the social service use, church use, daycare center use, and parking use. If I read that right.
That's correct.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. Ms. Mark, do you wish to amend your motion, make your motion?
Or I can do it for you.
There we go.
Is that the easier
Mr.
thing?
Davis seems to
I
have,
like
Mr.
that.
Davis seems to be the most read up on the matter.
Yes.
If you would, Mr. Davis.
I've had
please.
plenty of time to look over it.
Thank you.
I would like to make a motion to deny flex variance 26-03. Deny the social services use, the church use, the daycare center use, and the parking use.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Did you say church?
Yes.
Church, daycare,
Parking,
and
Social
social service?
services.
All four denied. I
Yes.
second.
Seconded by Ms. Mark. By show of hands. All committee members voting in favor of the motion. Flex Var 2603 is denied. Mr. Newman, could you please advise the applicant and interested parties about their options in light of the committee's action?
Yes, beginning tomorrow, there will be a 3-day period for any appeals. So if anyone would like to appeal that decision of the committee to the city council, that period will begin tomorrow. So effective tomorrow, a 3-day appeal period. And those appeals can be made in development services. Thank you.
Thank you all for being here tonight. Does anybody want to take a short break before we do
Yes, if we-
2602? Do we have a motion, a motion to take a short comfort break?
I make a motion.
Ms. Mark makes a motion, second. Mr. Leek, all in favor? Why don't we try to be back here at 7:45? That gives
Okay.
us
10 minutes, maybe.
13.
At 7:45?
Oh, wait, I'm sorry, it's
That's
7:30.
8 minutes.
That's 8 minutes. Why don't we say 7:50?
Okay.
No, that's fine, Tanner, of course. We'll be on break until 7:50 PM.
Was there a recess?
That is a recess. I'm speaking plain English.
Okay.
I bet you're a beast in court.
Yeah, I noticed it sounded like a summation.
So eloquent.
I should be, I know, that's my fault.
That was one heck of a closing argument. That's what I thought it was, yeah. It was. If I ever need an attorney, I want him. Thank you. Could you?
Yeah.
We're down one item now, surely.
Surely we
Next
can get
three,
this.
we can.
I know whenever he said, okay, whenever I walked up and he said, I know, you would tell me that we'd be still on that.
Yeah, we're still here.
Well, I knew, kind of figured that though whenever I saw all the cars still outside, so. I was like, well, let me go ahead and go in and at least listen. So.
I heard him at work session, so I mean, that's fine. No, obviously Tanner and Pat can go ahead and present the city.
So we got this and, oh, the trucking thing shouldn't be.
We're stuck here, Pat.
Oh, yeah, I can do this. Just scoot down here. I'm gonna take a nap. It's been a long day. How's the game going?
Good. They lost the first game 3-0, and the second game is they're down 5-0.
Oh,
They have forgot the bats. I asked my wife just then, did we leave the bats in Tupelo? because
Test.
my son played good. He played third in the first game.
Testing 1 2. Test.
He didn't get good. He made some good plays in third.
And they're in
Allergy
Austin.
season starting early.
Oh my gosh, I'm just saying. And they have school tomorrow?
It's just like as if it was the high school and traveling to play a game. But it's middle, so it's a long night when we play at home because the game. It's hard for me to get there at 5 o'clock for the first game. The second game's at 7. It's an hour and a half game. It's about 2:30. Then when the game's over, they're the ground crew. They have to dress the field and carpet. And then walk from the stadium back to the middle school to the gym, change clothes. And it's usually about 9 o'clock before I pick them up.
Don't they have like a 8:30 bedtime?
Well, it's
Middle school, I guess, a little bit
a
more.
little bit, but it's still, Will usually comes home and just goes straight to bed.
Well, yeah.
But
On the team, those are hurt.
I lost 3-0, and they're down 5-0. This one.
His kids.
Yeah, the Tupelo Middle School playing Oxford Middle School.
Oh, okay.
Baseball.
Ooh, boy, that's a rival right there.
Are we okay?
That's right. Just gonna make a record.
His kids from Tupelo.
Well, we've been here longer than this. I can't remember which one it was.
Pam, you doing all right tonight?
Spain House was
Spain
one.
House, yeah.
I
can tell you. Flowerdale.
Flowerdale was a good one.
It was Pecan Grove in the record.
Pecan Grove. Yeah, Pecan Grove.
It didn't quite
It
make
didn't reach the level of Flowerdale.
today.
Pecan Grove was a 2.5 hour.
That was pretty good.
When I went to the dentist the other day, which was right there at Pecan Grove, Nance Dental Clinic, it didn't look like anything had happened. I drove up to the end of the road and looked into the abyss.
You know, maybe they be at that stage of doing more drawings or something before they start.
Maybe so. I thought I'd go down there and see at least some building being done. Oh, I'm sure they will. But at least we don't have to hear it. I know.
He did. So we can do these.
They'll take our recommendation, but they'll let him speak, let the public speak.
Q&A, will they solicit public input?
Oh, yeah. They could. They try to run right through it.
I'm sorry. No. I told him we're missing
No, absolutely, no, nothing to apologize for. You have a great night. Take care.
So he's good? Okay.
Tanner,
Thank you. Hey, good luck.
Tanner, is this second item supposed to be 2604? Because all the information we had was 2601 for the first one, but it's really 2603 because we had 2 flex VARs already this year. I'm just wondering if there was a numeration error.
What does it say on that?
So the 2226 flex VAR was 01 in our packet, but it's 03. And this one is a later date. It's a week later, so it's got to be 04. I just think it might have gotten stamped wrong.
220, one's a flex variance, one's a rezoning.
Yes, but I'm looking at Flex 2601, what was originally for tonight, 2601 and 2602.
2602 is the truck place.
But it's a week later.
Uh-huh.
And it should be 04 because 2601 is actually 2603. when we
I
receive.
can honestly claim plausible deniability here because I was not here.
See, because it is flex vari 26, because we did 2 other flex vari.
But they could have, it just depends on the timing, to be honest with you,
Yeah,
when they came
it could.
in.
All right, I'll keep it as 2602.
Keep it 2602, and then if we need to change it, we will.
We've got this
But let's-
staff analysis, and the staff analysis for this one's already in the packet. Yeah.
I would stick with 2602. It could be that, like I said, it could have been a timing thing.
Yeah, no, I get it.
I
just
have,
wanna make
I
sure.
have nothing to justify changing it right now, so let's stick
Right,
with it.
because we definitely changed the other one, because the staff analysis had VAR 2603. That's the Gateway East District.
No, honestly, I'm figuring they must have just turned it off, not realizing it was gonna go this late.
Did we leave Ben in charge of the technology?
I got spelled. I wasn't insured to do that.
It's just one button, right? Clearly marked and not red.
No, there's quite a sequence there.
Do not push the red button.
There's about 7 steps to it. In order. Like the holy hand grenade.
It really seems to be a little warm.
They've adjusted it now.
I think it would be well taken.
Thank you.
All right.
I'm coming.
What's wrong?
Well, we still have another man in it, so.
Do we?
We technically have till 7:50,
Okay.
Till
Okay.
7:50,
7:50.
but,
If we're here, let's roll.
we are all here and the applicants are here, I will use my chairman's prerogative to cut 2 minutes out of the break.
Let's go.
And-
So moved.
Let's rock and roll, good people. All right, the next item on our agenda is Flex 2602, 407 Easton Boulevard, parcel 088 V as in Victor dash 34 dash 039 dash 03 and 112T dash 03 dash 020 dash 00. This is a request to allow a replacement of a non-conforming use from a trucking company to light manufacturing metal fabrication. Mr. Newman or Mr. Faulkner, have the surrounding property owners been notified, and were there any responses?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, they have been notified. We've not received any responses. So
Would the applicant please come forward to the podium, or representative, come to the podium, state your name, address, and present your request to the committee.
Chris Winders, T-Rock Commercial, 1476 Countrywood Cove. I'm here for Nashville Fabrication, who submitted the application.
Thank you, sir. And you may start your presentation if you wish, to make any presentation.
I don't know that I have any presentation. I'm certainly welcome to any questions.
Thank you. Do any members of the committee have any questions for the applicant's representative? All right, hearing none, thank you, sir. You may have a seat. We will now open the public portion of the hearing for this application. Please try to hold your comments to a maximum of 5 minutes. Is there anyone here to speak for or against this application? Please state your name and address when you come to the podium.
James Davis, 1715 Tulip Road. We own several lots right there, so me and my brother together, which is Michael Wayne Davis.
Thank you, sir. Please go
Okay.
ahead and make your presentation.
I'm going to back up a little bit before we go into this. Probably 5 or 10 years ago, well, probably at least 10 years ago, I was at the same meeting as this right here when they wanted to put Gibson cardboard container right there at that same location. And ever since then, they have started a second shift over there, and there's a machine that I can hear plainly from my house I do prayers at night, and around 4 o'clock in the morning, they actually shut the machine off, and it comes completely quiet. So I deal with all kind of noise from that Gibson corrugated company all the time. I had new windows put in my house last year. I put double pane in. I wish now I'd put triple pane, because I was thinking the double pane was going to eliminate the noise concern that I have. They don't run it every night. They run it probably maybe 2 to 3 times a week, but it's enough that you can't even roll or raise your window up at nighttime because of the noise that's being produced right now. So I wanted to, and I agreed when they put that in, because not knowing what the machinery was like, where you would hear something at night or anything like that, I agreed to it because, hey, it's a company giving jobs and stuff like that. But the noise issue is something I'm dealing with now. Thank goodness I'm up to 70 years old, so sooner or later I won't have to deal with that no more. But that is a huge concern with me with noise, because I had a friend over the other day. He said, "What's that noise?" And we was outside during the day. You kind of mellow it out because you hear traffic on the roads and stuff like that. But he actually picked up on it just visiting my house. So this being a stamping facility, and if they are running at night or anything like that, and they can say, "No, we're not going to run at night," but down the road, just like Gibson, they didn't run at night. Now they got a second shift going, and you can hear the machinery running all night long. So that is my concern with the noise issue.
Do any members of the committee have any questions?
Where do you live?
1715 Tulip Road. It's right across from the old Shelton's trailer park. There's 2 houses way off the road, and one of them is mine. And we have property that goes way up additional, which is just farmland. It's not any residence or anything. Okay.
How far are you, would you say, from the Gibson container plant? that
I
you're
would,
talking about?
gosh, maybe less than a quarter of a mile. I don't know if you know Shelton's Trailer Park, but it's just Tulip Creek Road separates Feimster Lake and that, and Gibson's right up on the hill.
Is this proposed location closer or further than?
I think it's
Gibson?
across the street from Gibson, isn't it? It's just across the highway.
Approximately the same distance to your home or further?
It would be further by,
100 feet,
yeah,
maybe?
maybe.
A road.
Just across the road.
Road
Yeah,
and frontage and everything else. Okay.
correct.
Does anyone else have any, when that change was made that you referenced about 10 years ago, were they running a nighttime shift at that time?
There wasn't no facility there. It was all zoned. That's what the meeting was for. It wasn't zoned for commercial, and Gibson wanted it to be changed to light commercial deal, and we had the meeting where, yeah, we let it go light commercial, and then the end results is where you had the noise, and it seems to get even worse because they started the second shift, and they have this machine. I started to try to record it where I could play it, but the download recorder didn't work good on a cell phone. But that's my big concern is the noise, because it's something I'm dealing with right now.
Thank you for your remarks.
All right.
And yeah, of course, there may be some questions from members of the committee. Go ahead, Mark, I'm sorry.
And maybe I'm not understanding. You do understand it's being bought for a trucking company, not a manufacturing company.
Oh, it's just strictly trucking?
No, it's the reverse, Mark. It was a trucking company, and it's gonna be light manufacturing.
My bad.
It is gonna be light manufacturing.
Yeah.
Does anyone else have any questions for,
Tanner, maybe you can help us, and Mr. Davis can point it out. In looking at the map, that we have here, is his property located on there?
Where?
I'm just curious.
I don't know if this shows my property or not, but I'm thinking all this is ours. I mean, we have.
Or did you receive this letter as well? He received the letter.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can see the numbers, it's 117, what was that number again on Tulip Road?
1715, but we own, about 30 acres.
What he's talking about.
Or 20 acres.
That's industrial.
Oh, yeah, that's just showing the,
I just wanted to make sure that I knew which property was yours in looking at the map.
I've got this,
I don't know.
may I, I'm gonna approach Mr. Davis and ask you to take a look at this higher up map, if you could point out maybe circles, and I'll share it with the other people.
Yeah, right there.
That's more than that's more than a quarter of a mile, isn't it?
I think this is the site that we're talking about, right there.
I don't know what this, I'm on Tulip.
What do you do about that?
Is this the trailer park? What is that? Looks like
Pad. Yeah, that looks like a pad.
Okay, that's a trailer
So
park,
that's
so
the
there
trailer
should be
park.
two houses right here.
There's two houses, it looks like right there.
Yeah, but that's on the street, I'm way back, probably right there, and my brother's right here, and then we own this, and this. We own from here down here, and that,
That house
oh,
is
that
right off
house,
the road.
yeah, that house and that house is mine. My house is right there,
And that's your brother's?
that's my brother's.
All right, I'm gonna circle them on this map, just so that I can share it with the other members of the committee so they can take a look at it. It's not very, very clear, but it's these two right here.
And this is the property in question, correct?
Might be better off, yeah, better pen, thank you. Highlighter will work better. You could just pass that down when you're, that way every member of the committee can see it. Are there any other questions?
I see.
Yes,
Question,
Ms.
please.
Hadley, Ms. Hadley has a question.
Okay, for, the other gentleman. Because I'm asking whether or not, do you know how long it'll be, is it gonna be a daytime, just daytime manufacturing, or is it going to be different
Why
times?
don't we do this? If we're done with questions for Mr. Davis, I was going to ask the applicant's representative to please come back up.
Okay.
So, thank you, sir. You may have a seat. Appreciate your remarks. Thank you, sir. If you don't mind, I think some committee members, in light of this information, may have some questions for you about the matter. Ms.
Okay.
Hadley?
Yeah, so again, your times of manufacturing, is it just daytime, is it gonna be different times going into the night?
I can't specifically answer that. We can get that. That is it would. I do know this. So what they're going to be doing is cutting, welding, steel beams, pipe, and plate metal, and some grinding and cutting, not stamping. If I understand right, stamping would be loud and big, which I think would require industrial. But anyway. They're going to be doing a normal cut and weld type operation.
Yeah. I just know if it's different shifts, if shifts going into the night, that would definitely make a difference rather than if they're just during the daytime. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, I wanna make sure, since you didn't do a presentation, what's happening here is that you guys are going to take what is currently a trucking company. You're going to do an addition to the building, and the building use is going to change to light commercial,
Light industrial.
light industrial, where you will be doing cutting and welding of steel product.
Which would, I don't know, maybe a noise that what has been operating there is a truck service center with air tools and such. But what Nashville Fabrication will be doing is a normal cut, weld, pipe, steel, type work.
Any other questions for the applicant's representative? Thank you, sir. You may have a seat. Is there anyone else who wishes to comment regarding this application? Seeing none, this closes the public portion of this application review. We are now open for committee discussion, and before we begin, does the Department of Development Services have a perspective on this application?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I will defer to Mr. Faulkner to present the staff analysis on this one.
Thank you, Mr. Faulkner.